Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EuroFX. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video.
Welcome back, everybody. So as you can see, performance was to the upside on the recent Fed statement and Jerome Powell comments. So overall statement was really tricky, and as well as the performance, I would say, just because, well, actually market behaves and shows the action in opposite scenario in an opposite direction to the background of the statement. So yes, actually Jerome Powell talked about some disinflationary processes in the economy. That's he pointed on the decreasing on the inflation in some spheres of the economy, and market actually have extracted only this point from the statement and use it for a background. All other stuff that Jerome Powell said concerning inflation, that they are worried that inflation is rising in the service sector, which is actually 2/3 of the overall economy, and it's really high. And what he actually said concerning to keep rates for a long period and keep going with the high interest rates, all this stuff was ignored. And this brings some, well, tricky action on the market. My opinion is that markets actually underestimate the hawkishness of the recent statement from the Fed, and that currently it's mispriced the future Fed policy. That will happen actually. And in general, well, if we suggest that market maybe reacts on some rumors and the things that we discussed in our weekly report, that Fed will not able to hold rate for a long time, that sooner rather than later they will turn to easing of the policy, this means that inflation will keep going higher. But that will bring a total mess on the markets, and well, hardly this particular behavior that we see currently on the market is based on this long-term view. Probably it's just short-term reaction. And this reaction makes overall trading process really, really difficult. Just particularly speaking, if you recall what we have on the monthly chart, that's actually our major background for a current technical picture. So if you take a look, market actually hits the long-term trend line, as you can see on the monthly chart. It has been broken. Now market is retesting it, monthly overbought, and this is major 50% resistance of this from this top to these lows. So it's a really significant resistance level. So in the current circumstances, at least based on the technical picture, we should not take any long position, just because market stayed at the overbought on the monthly chart in a strong resistance area. So on the daily chart, as we correctly said in the previous periods, we are not considering taking the new longs position, if of course you would like to trade the Fed Reserve meeting. But overall background doesn't support this idea, because if you would take the position, for example, yesterday, you will have to place relatively extended stop order, at least below the conference or even below this area, and that you should do actually without any patterns. And even to say more, we've got previously the bearish trend here. So in general, overall background, if we wouldn't consider the Fed, overall background was really tricky. So in the current circumstances, nothing actually has changed. The market just currently hits still predefined level. So you can see the top here was 1040. We have major resistance at 1055, and that once again on the daily chart, personally I do not see many things to do currently. So it would be better to wait for some pullback and then consider possible patterns and so on. On the lower time frame, short-term context tends bullish. So on the follow time frame chart, daily trend is also turning bullish right now. On the follow time frame chart, market has broken up this widening triangle, which means that most of the direction currently stands to the upside. Here's some acceleration, not bad momentum in general in this price action. And for the scalp traders, if you would like to take some positions, you probably could watch for some pullback to some of the fib levels 109.77, 109.43. Unfortunately, currently we do not have any patterns yet, so market's just starting this reaction. But once the patterns might be formed, maybe some gutters cheaper to buy or something of that sort, theoretically you could try and consider taking the long position with the possible some upward continuation back to the top. So just based on the momentum that we have. That's unfortunately all that we could consider today, just because currently euro doesn't provide any patterns on the high time frames, and actually we do not have any good background for it. Target estimating and in general for the performance. In general, overall performance looks a bit nervous, and probably this will increase sentiment increase in coming to payrolls report on Friday. So we'll see. By the way, Jerome Powell said that the Fed needs a weaker job market to control the inflation. I think that Jerome Powell was trying to push market lower because overall statement was enough to do this. And this is the topic for our discussion in the weekly report, because it seems that Fed is losing the control over the markets because market doesn't believe to the Fed. So they act in the opposite direction compared to what they have said. And there is definitely some background should exist for that. I suspect what it is, well, I'm trying to share with in our weekly report. But on the euro currency, that's all actually that we have currently. For scalp traders, you could consider near standing levels, trying to make the momentum trade based on this reaction. With some upward continuation, kind of the brand bottom, let's call it in this way. Just some pullback here back to the top. On the daily chart, I do not see, guys, really what's something interesting to do.